everyone, welcome back to another video. So on today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make my famous pumpkin roll recipe that everyone in the family loves. Every time I make this pumpkin roll, literally it's gone in seconds. So I always have to make sure to make 2 or 3 pumpkin rolls because everyone loves my pumpkin roll, and I am so excited to share with you guys the recipe again. And I'm saying again because I did this recipe when I first started out YouTube, but I didn't really know how to edit my videos, so the editing is a little off. So I ended up deleting the video when I seen it again this year, and I was like, you know what, I am gonna make a new one explaining it more with you guys, more hands-on, as the other video was more like a voiceover and it didn't really explain a lot, and it was just a hot mess that I was like, you know what, let me do this video again since I am better at editing, and let me explain it a little better so you guys can understand it. But definitely recommend that you try this recipe out. It is so easy, and it is so delicious. So if you guys are interested in knowing my recipe, keep on watching. But before I start, if you are new to my channel, my name is Janae Reyes, and I love to make videos like lifestyle videos, hauls, thrifting videos, and cooking videos as well. So if you're interested in those things, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to click the bell notification. That way you would be notified every time I upload a new video and you don't miss out, and you can be like the first to comment or the first to like. So yeah guys, so don't forget to do that, and let's get started because I'm so excited to show you guys my recipe that you're definitely gonna love. So for this recipe, we're definitely gonna need flour. I like to use the gold medal flour, but whatever preference you like, it doesn't really matter what flour you use. We're going to need granulated sugar. We're going to need some cinnamon powder, some ground clove powder. I grab these little ones because I only use it like once a year when it's like pumpkin spice everything, so you don't really need like big ones because they are pretty pricey, so you only need a little bit, so grab the little ones. And some pumpkin spice powder. We also need ground ginger, some baking soda, and baking powder, and also some salt. And you're also gonna need 3 eggs. And 1 can of pureed pumpkin. This can literally makes 2 pumpkin rolls, so all depending on you. I like to grab the little one because I know I could make 2 with this. All right, you're gonna need some parchment paper and some aluminum foil. We're gonna start off with 3/4 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove, 1/8 of pumpkin spice, 1/8 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're just gonna mix those dried ingredients together really good. Once it's all mixed, you're just gonna set that one aside. On a separate bowl, you want to crack 3 eggs. You wanna whisk those eggs really good. Once you whisk them really good, like till it turns really yellow like this, then you can still keep whisking, but at the same time, you're gonna add your cup of sugar slowly while you still are mixing your eggs with your granulated sugar. Right after you're done whisking the sugar and the eggs together, you're gonna add your 2/3 cups of pumpkin puree. And you're going to mix those together. Once you mix those together really good and you don't see chunks of pumpkin puree, like I'm holding it up like that and no chunks are coming up, now I can grab my side of dry ingredients we mixed earlier, and we are just going to be pouring them in there slowly as we continue to whisk. That way you avoid big chunks of flour. I'm doing this all by hand as well. You can always use another mixer. I rather do it by hand because if you do it with a mixer, you might overmix and it might be too watery, and you want to prevent that. So I'm gonna stop using the whisk and I'm gonna move on to a spatula. That way, like I said, you don't want to overmix, and just continue to mix it a little bit with the spatula. Make sure there is no dry ingredients out, and it smells so delicious already, guys. Look at that. Really good consistency. Right, now I have a flat sheet pan, and I am placing parchment paper on top, but on this side of the end, I am going to leave a long, maybe like a good 3 inches long wide, just sticking out, and you'll see why when it's all baked and done. Now I'm just gonna pour my batter on here. And we are going to form it into like a rectangle shape. This is why I like to use this flat sheet, like a rectangle flat sheet. That way I already know how big I want it. And I recommend that you use a flat spatula like I'm using right now, or a flatter one. Just because it helps you spread it out evenly. Also, slamming it a little bit on a flat surface is going to help even it out as well. Shake it a little bit, slam it. And as you can tell, it evened it out really, really good. Now we're gonna bake it at a 350 degrees for 15 minutes. And it should be ready in 15 minutes exactly.
15 minutes, 15 minutes.
Alright, once we took it out of the oven, I'm gonna let it for 5 minutes just to cool down, so that way when I start rolling it, it's not too hot on my hands. So it's been 5 minutes, it's cooled down now. I can touch the pan. I can touch everything without burning my hands. So I told you guys earlier that it was important to leave a good 3 inches long side on one side, because you are going to pat it down right here, so that way this bread doesn't stick to the rest of the bread and it doesn't tear. So from here, you're gonna start rolling it. Make sure to be very gentle as well. You don't want to be very harsh, so very gentle roll. And you're just going to roll it up. So it's pretty important that you roll it up when it's warm, because if you try to roll it up when it's already super cooled down, then it's gonna be hard to roll and it's gonna just break on you. So it's important that you do it when it's warm. That way it doesn't rip or tear. Now we're just gonna let it get cold on its own for a good 15 to 20 minutes before you put the cream cheese on top, because like I said, you don't want any tears or anything like that. And to make the process even faster, you want to remove your pot, because this pot is still a little warm, and just leave it on a cooling rack. So now we're gonna move on to the cream cheese. So I love to make my cream cheese homemade. It is very easy and it is so good with the pumpkin roll. So you have to make this together if you really want my recipe. Like, it's so delicious and easy. For the cream cheese, it's a pretty simple recipe. All you're gonna need is 1 bar of Philadelphia cheese, 1 stick of unsalted butter, room temperature on both of these. Make sure that you don't take them out of your fridge and you're gonna do your cream cheese. Make sure you leave them out for at least a whole day or a couple hours, so that way they can turn into room temperature. And then you're gonna need some vanilla and also your powdered sugar. I'm gonna add my butter, my Philadelphia cheese, 1 cup of powdered sugar, a little pinch of vanilla. Very, very little. There you go. All right, now I'm gonna mix this with my hand mixer. You can mix it with whatever mixer you want. It doesn't really matter. All you have to do is mix it really good. Once it's all creamy and mixed together really, really good, then it's ready to place on top of your pumpkin roll. All right, so here I got my aluminum foil, and I just cut a good square where it's still gonna cover the sides when I wrap it up. So now it's the fun part, the easy part. You are going to unroll it slowly. Some parts are gonna just stick to the parchment paper, but it's okay as long as it's not so much. Just like that, very softly. And there you go. So now that we are done with that, I am going to place our cream cheese right on top. And we're going to evenly spread it all over the top of the pumpkin roll. All right, this next step is a preference, but last time I added a walnut to my pumpkin roll and everybody loved it, so I'm going to add walnuts on top. But if you like it just like that, go ahead and start rolling it up. But for me, we want to add walnuts again. It tastes so good. If you are a walnut lover, I just love like crunchy stuff on my sweet treats, so adding walnuts was that tinge of crunch that you want all the time. All right, so now we're gonna slightly remove it from the parchment paper, very, very slightly. Make sure you don't pull too hard. At the same time, grab your parchment paper and start lifting up your pumpkin roll. Now you want to start shaping your pumpkin roll. So this is gonna be the middle of the pumpkin roll, and I am going to start turning it like that with the parchment paper. You're gonna see me turn it. Now I'm gonna pull the parchment paper slightly, just like that. And I'll just keep doing that. And it's okay if it keeps going over there. There's gonna be a little bit of cream sticking out of your pumpkin roll, but that's gonna help it stick together. So don't even worry about that. Make sure that your pumpkin roll are here on the side, that you're rolling it together so it's shaping like a pumpkin roll. Make sure you don't tighten it because then you can rip and tear your bread. Okay, now I'm gonna switch it to a new parchment paper. And this part, you just roll it up in the parchment paper on its own first. Then you are gonna wrap it all up with your foil. Once we have it all wrapped together, we're gonna add this inside the freezer. Yes, you heard right, inside the freezer, because the freezer is gonna help it all moist in and it's gonna harden. So leave it in the freezer for a good hour, then it's ready to serve for everybody. I recommend that you do that, and it's gonna be nice and moist, and you're gonna be able to cut it really good, because if you try to cut it right away like it is right now, it's gonna tear up and it's not gonna look good, it's not gonna look presentable. So make sure you freeze it for a good hour. Let's look at the final pumpkin bread. So as you can see, it's a little hard. If you left it for an hour, it should be a little softer. I left it for more than an hour. You see the edges are really like ugly and stuff. So if you want to make it very pretty and presentable, make sure you just cut the edges off so that way it can look like nice and perfect and round. My husband's gonna help me pour a little bit of sugar powder on it just to make it look really cute. There you go, babe. That's it. And it's ready to serve. All right, guys, so I am done with today's recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a very, very easy recipe, and if you did enjoy it, let me know in the comments down below. Or if you make one, follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and tag me on your beautiful pumpkin roll on how you made it. I want to see how yours came out, and let me know if your whole family loved it as well. And if you guys enjoyed these type of videos, don't forget to give this video a like. That way I can keep doing more. And if you have like another recipe that you think I should try out for you guys, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear you guys' feedback and suggestions, so let me know. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys on my next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and don't forget to give this video a like.